Hello YouTube, it's the Magnum94 here, and ever since the Nintendo Switch was fully revealed, I've just kind of noticed something about Nintendo fans. You know, the ones who maybe had like a N64 or maybe even a GameCube back in the day, but haven't played Nintendo since then, and they've always been complaining about every little thing Nintendo does, stating that they want them to grow up and get with the times. Those fans, the ones who are never satisfied with anything Nintendo does, I've noticed something over really the past like 3 months. It's been more so like since the January 12th event, but really it's kind of been building ever since last October and even kind of before then. What exactly do these fans mean when they plead for Nintendo to grow up or get with the times? Because last I checked, the other companies, they do shady business deals in order to get exclusive content. They do DLC, they do season passes, they do online only experiences, they do paid online experiences, but you don't want Nintendo to do any of that, yet you want them to grow up and get with the times. Let me clarify a bit more. This is kind of off the cuff. I didn't have a script or any talking points. This is kind of off the top of my head because, like I said, it's just kind of been building up until yesterday. And I wanted to make videos kind of like this for a while now, but I feel like this is the point where I feel like it's enough. People just need to stop this madness. And that's yesterday when Eiji Aonuma revealed that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will get a season pass, essentially, with 3 DLC packs, one being on day one coming in summer, and one coming this holiday season, for $20. Let me pull up real quick what all exactly this season pass entails, because it is way more than the majority of season passes have, especially only for $20. So on day one, you get 3 treasure chests, with one of those chests including a Switch, a shirt with a Switch logo on it, which seems kind of meta, but it's kind of cool at the same time. The DLC pack 1, a new Cave of Trials challenge, a new hard mode, which is on top of the hero mode, which is already in the game. You know, the one where you get hit, there's no hearts anywhere, and every character or every enemy does way more damage. Yeah, that's already in the game, but this is a hard mode. Think like the Master Quest, quest from the Ocarina of Time 3DS. It basically it switched around where items were. It again made enemies hit harder. It just basically made the game felt like an entirely new experience. So you're essentially they're that alone, which is different from the hero mode that's in the game. People need to understand that. They're essentially not really, but they're essentially giving you an entire new game to an extent for $20, and that's just one aspect of it. And keep in mind, this is the biggest game Nintendo has ever made. Probably the biggest game ever made. At least a game that's confined to one planet. Because I know Mass Effect and Halo and other games, they have different planets you can go to and whatnot, but just the world that you can explore. I believe Breath of the Wild is the biggest one. So, and continue with DLC Pack 1, additional map feature, which I guess I don't know what it'll be, but maybe some new cave or a new, I don't know, just something extra. And then DLC Pack 2, a new original story, which we have no idea what that is yet. But clearly, since it's coming out in holiday season, that's clearly not done yet. If this was an EA or even like a Ubisoft or Activision game, I'm thinking Watch Dogs right now. Watch Dogs, they had the story DLC for Watch Dogs ready to go, finished before the actual game was done. But they still made you pay for it on day one, along with the season pass for the rest of the stuff. So you got $60 worth, well, really like $40 worth of game at launch, maybe 50. Regardless, you didn't get the entire game at launch. Instead, you had to pay 20 to 30. I think the season pass for the game was like 25 or $30. You had to pay extra money just so you could finish the game, essentially. The same thing goes for Mass Effect, where you basically had to pay for the good ending. Yeah, people think it's blasphemous for Nintendo to do an arguably better thing with story DLC 6 months after the game is out. And the story DLC is optional. Like they've said, it's simply just more content. It's not necessarily connected to the story of the game itself. It's literally an entirely new, separate entity. Thing like The Witcher 3 DLC. Maybe not that expansive, but still, it's something. Like it's not just they took out part of the game and you have to pay for it later, like Watch Dogs did or Mass Effect. And continuing on, new dungeon and additional challenges. Now, all of this for $20. When pretty much every other company has their season passes for like $30 or more. I can think of what is it? Batman Arkham Knight. Its season pass was $40. You got, I think, 5 new villain maps. See, Killer Croc, Mr. Freeze, 2, whatever. There was, like, regardless, like, new enemies, like, new villains, like, came in the city once every month. And that's a cool concept. And there were other, like, challenge maps and racetracks for your Batmobile. And, like, sure, that's cool. But I personally don't think that's worth 2/3 of the entirety of that game. Which that's a really big and expansive and complex game. All I just mentioned is not even close to worth $40, maybe $20. Like if I had that game, I would have paid $20 so I could fight Killer Croc and Mr. Freeze again. Like that's a cool concept, but it's not worth $40 just for that. Because I personally wouldn't really care about the racetracks or maybe even I wouldn't really care that much about the Harley Quinn or the Nightwing mission mode things. Like maybe, but like not $40. I wouldn't care that much. Yet people feel like Nintendo is doing it wrong. And I could go on and on about all the other ridiculous season passes. Like one that comes to mind immediately is the BioShock Infinite, the season pass. I don't remember all that comes with it, but I do remember that they announced that a season pass was happening. And you knew you got 3 story expansions that weren't connected to the story, which is fine. But they wouldn't tell you really what was going to be there. They just told you that there's going to be things coming down the line. We eventually knew that they were like story packs and new weapons and whatnot, but they didn't tell you. They just made you pay $30 up front. And I can think of quite a few others that do this. I want to say, was it Final Fantasy 15? It was some Final Fantasy game more recently. You basically paid for a season pass that they didn't tell you what it was. They were just like, oh, we have a season pass for this game. You should go buy it. And they didn't tell you what was going to be in the season pass. Again, that was like $25-$30. So you're paying half the game for what you don't even know what's going to be in the in the content you're buying yet. See, how is Nintendo doing it wrong when they're telling you straight up front what all is gonna be in the content? They did the same. They did the same thing with the Mario Kart 8 DLC and the Hyrule Warriors DLC and the Smash Bros DLC. And Smash Bros didn't even have a season pass, which honestly that wouldn't have been a bad idea for them to do that. They're like, okay, buy the season pass now for like $20. Because I think, yeah, you would have gotten a discount if you got all the characters and maps. You would have gotten a discount if you just bought the season pass. And they're like, okay, there's like 7 fighters coming down the line with maps and new costumes and whatnot. That's way more than a $20 value. Was it 7? I think it was only 7, maybe 8. Well, regardless, you got pretty substantial amount of content out of Smash Bros. And they didn't even have a season pass. Mario Kart, you essentially got half a game for $12. Same thing with Hyrule Warriors. You got quite a bit of content for only $20. Yet people want Nintendo to grow up and get with the times, but they don't want them to do season passes and do DLC. So what do you want Nintendo to do? You want them to have a good online experience, but you don't want to pay for it. Even though what you will be paying is going to be $30 or more less than what PS4 and Xbox One are. Like if the rumors are, well, not rumors, but if the conversion is right and they said it's about 2,000 to 3,000 yen, that's on the high end $26, probably round up to 30. So $30 compared to a year, mind you, compared to PS4 and Xbox One, $60 a year. And you're not okay with this because you don't feel like you don't like the idea of having a free game every month? We don't even know what all is coming either. We just know that we're getting, because I think Kimishima and Reggie also said that they're paying so that we can get a better online experience. Yet you don't want to pay for it. I simply do not understand. And then you say, oh, Nintendo, get with the times, and then you need third-party support to survive, and then they reveal that huge amount of third-party partners and third-party dev kits and engines that will run on this system, and then people still complain that there's no third-party support. They need to get with the times. They need to make the system for them, even though they said multiple times that they built the system from the ground up to be easy to develop for. Regardless of how powerful it is, they made the system for them. They talked to EA, they talked to Ubisoft, they talked to the Japanese developers who didn't support the Wii U. They talked to these people and asked them, okay, this is what our system is. Will you develop for that? And then they probably showed them something they didn't like. They're like, and the majority of them were like, no, we don't want this. And then they show them the Switch, the custom Tegra chip that's apparently very easy to work with. The components are apparently super easy to develop for. Again, it takes less than a year to port an established PC game. So regardless of that, people still think they don't have any third-party support. Even though Koizumi recently said that third-party games are going to be revealing more games soon. And that's on top of the games that are already coming, like Skyrim and Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Minecraft and FIFA and a bunch of others that I can't think of the top of my head about, a bunch of indie games. And yet Nintendo needs to get with the times and get all this third-party support. Do you see my point here? It seems like no matter what Nintendo does to improve in the gaming sphere, people will never be satisfied. Like, what exactly do you want from them? Do you want them to just make a super powerful system, pay $60 online, get all the third-party support, like pay out buttloads of money just to get free content? Oh, that's another thing. People were mad that Nintendo talked to Platinum Games and got Bayonetta 2 as an exclusive. Yeah, that's what PS4 and Xbox One do all the time. You're mad at Nintendo for doing something that other companies do, yet you want them to catch up to the other companies. Like, seriously, what do you want from them? Because it seems like they're doing everything that you want, just more reasonably. They're doing season passes at a very reasonable price, like $20 or less. They very easily could have done like $30 or more for this Zelda DLC. You didn't have to get all that Mario Kart DLC. That's for $12. That's very easily a $30 value. Like I said, you're getting basically half a game. Same with Hyrule Warriors. That's a $30 value compared to these other companies, especially compared to the $50 Star Wars Battlefront DLC, which is stupid. I was excited for that game too, but then EA had to go ahead and ruin it. So you're telling me that this is just as bad as what the other companies are doing? Yes, Nintendo isn't going to have a web browser or Netflix at launch. So what? They're focused on making games. They made the system so that developers could put their games on it. They don't care if you view it as a tablet and you feel like it should be doing tablet things. That's not what Nintendo's viewing it as. They're viewing it as a game console first. And that's honestly how they should do it. That's what people got mad at Microsoft for doing. So people got mad at Microsoft for showing up the Xbox One basically as a cable box first and then a gaming system, yet people are getting mad at Nintendo for focusing too much on games, even though they're a game developer. I don't know. If someone in the comment section can help me understand what exactly people want from Nintendo, like what exactly people mean by get with the times, then please tell me, because I honestly have no idea. And people have tried in other comment sections to explain that this is wrong. They essentially what people want is that they want Nintendo to get with the times, but they don't want to pay for it. They want all this Zelda DLC, and they feel so privileged because we waited for it so long. But they want it all for free. When other companies, their games take flipping forever. You didn't get any free content with Final Fantasy 15 or Last Guardian, as far as I know. And if I am wrong, please let me know. But those games took nearly 10 years to make each. You're definitely not going to get any content free stuff from Kingdom Hearts when that comes out, if it ever comes out. So you want all this content for free, essentially, just because you feel entitled that you waited so long for this game rather. That's not how it works. Nintendo is a business. They're going to try to please their fans, but at the same, they're real fans, when at the same time making money, because they're a business. Now, granted, should Nintendo have revealed it this early? Maybe. But at the same time, one of the things is treasure chests at launch. I guess in theory they could have done an early adopters thing, like people who get the game and connect to the internet at in March can get that stuff for free, and then at E3 or later on the line they reveal this season pass, but they decided not to do that. And then it would just be DLC pack 1 and 2 for $20. So you're getting essentially less content. So yeah, I don't know. Again, if someone in the comment section can tell me what exactly people mean when they say Nintendo to get with the times, but they don't want Nintendo to actually change or do anything they want them to, it just confuses me. Like, I'm perfectly fine with what they're doing with the Switch, at least so far. The only thing I might complain about is if the Switch has shortages at launch. Like, they're predicting only 20 million to go out to ship out at launch. That's woefully not nearly enough for the entire month of March. Like, it needs to be at least 3 million or more. But whatever. Like, if it is that much, I'll definitely be vocal about it. But that's really the only thing I can really think of. Like, the games that are appealing to me right now, what's coming in the future is appealing to me. Their online service, 20 to 30 bucks, that's reasonable. I mean, I don't like the idea of paying for it, but knowing that it's not going to be $60 a year, that's a much better pill to swallow than just saying, okay, you're paying for online, just deal with it. Like, I don't know. Like, me as I feel like I'm a real Nintendo fan, and other real Nintendo fans, ones who actually play their games and support their systems, and I'm happy. And I know a lot of people who are happy so far with what Nintendo has done. Now, granted, if you want to complain, go complain. I'm not going to complain about you complaining unless you're complaining about stuff that's either relevant or non-issue, which a lot of the stuff is. But, yeah, like I said, leave your comments. And just leave your comments about what you think of the Zelda DLC. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's overall? Do you think there should be more there? Do you agree with when they announced it? So yeah, I'm curious what other people think. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. See you next time.